Okay, I just like to quickly dive into what I had planned for today. So, firstly, I'd like to start with greeting all of you, everyone's that watching me live, be it on your phone, be it on your computer, be it on your laptop. Very good morning. It's Friday morning. It's super hot in Mumbai right now, but here we are. And I'm so glad that all of you have joined me today for this lovely session. Firstly, I'd like to thank Asta Jain, who is the founder of Mrs. Diva's Prasiddhi podcast and Mrs. Diva's Women Entrepreneurs Community. Hi Ritu, so nice to see you. Okay, and Mrs. Diva is an initiative by Asta Jain, who is a business coach for existing entrepreneurs and has helped them in growing their businesses. And she's also a work from home expert, and she helps housewives and moms in figuring out what work they can start from their home to become financially independent. So, thank you so much, Asta. I love the work you're doing, and I'm so grateful to you for this amazing opportunity that you've given me to speak to your beautiful audience. Um, Now, I want to quickly dive into a little bit about myself and what the session is going to be about. So, hi everyone, I'm Neeva, and I'm the founder of Neeva's classes for language and performing arts. You'll find the link attached somewhere below or above, depends. And it's a language and a performing arts school where we teach French and English, and we teach speech and drama, communication skills, acting, and public speaking. And we really want to grow this into a school. So that's what I'm about. I want to quickly take the audience into this quick journey with me. So if you can shut your eyes with me. And I want you to think of the very first memory you had of yourself while performing. This could be performing a poem, maybe performing for your annual day, maybe performing as a part of a choir, when you were singing on stage or dancing on stage. It could be anything. I want you to go back to that memory and think of how you feel. I want you to type in the chat box the feelings that you felt when you were on stage at that time, or even if it was in front of your family members. How did you feel? There was a small audience in front of you, and you were either by yourself or in a group of people. And what were the feelings that you were getting? Were you feeling warm? Were you feeling excited? Were you feeling nervous, scared? What were the feelings that were going through your body? You can type it in the chat box right there. And with that emotion, I'd like to dive right into the session, and we'll be discussing today about the importance of performing arts. And I'm going to quickly run through the questions that are going to be answered through this session. So, firstly, we'll be talking about what are performing arts. Moving on to why is it important for children? Why is it a part of education altogether? Why should children study performing arts? Next, how can you introduce it to children at a very young age? How can you practice it during quarantine? Because we're all locked up in our houses right now. What's the best way you can use performing arts to keep your child entertained? What are the best resources for children to improve their performing arts skills? Careers in performing arts, I'll be taking you down that road as well. We'll be talking about the future a little bit. And then I'm going to give you some key takeaways that will really help you in improving your performing arts skills. And if you have any questions, any doubts, any queries throughout the session, please feel free to type it in the chat box right there, and I will answer them towards the end of the session. I'll make a note of them in my head, and then I'm going to keep answering them, all right? So let's dive right into the session. Can any of you tell me what, according to you, are performing arts? In the chat box, if you can write down for me, what is your idea of performance arts? Okay, so I'm going to talk about what it is briefly. So, performing arts are a form of creative activity that are basically performed in front of an audience. It could include dancing, it could be drama, it could be opera or theater or musical theater or magic, illusion, mime, poetry, just musicians performing, a band performance, singing, or even circus, puppetry, poetry, all of these that you have heard of right now are performance arts. Anything that in which your artist or you as a human being need to make use of your voice, need to make use of your bodies, or you use inanimate objects, that could be any object around you, to convey something creative, and that is a performance art. So, say I'm probably talking to you right now, I'm giving this session to you right now. This is a performance art. Maybe the other day you went to see a dance performance on YouTube. That is a performance art. Or before the lockdown, what if you went for, say, a concert? Or maybe you went for some theater performance. That also is a performance art. Now, what is the difference between a performance art and a visual art? So, visual arts are that which are done by artists on a canvas where you need to paint, where someone is creating something that's physical or creating static art objects. Okay, so static as in things that don't move, that stay the same. Okay, so someone who's painting, someone who's doing artwork, calligraphy, or writing. Or something that's seen this way and it's not performed in front of someone, okay, it's just probably some artwork, that is going to be visual art. But performance is actually doing it for the perfect for the other person. Okay, so that's the beauty of performance arts, that it involves a lot of doing, and it's not just learned by listening or seeing. You learn it by actually doing it and being involved in the whole process. All right. So let's move on to why is performance arts really important for children. You must have seen this going around a lot, right? Where everyone's talking about performance arts being the next important thing, or some people are just like, hey, but you're doing arts, that's not that important, is it? But today I really want to spread awareness about this, because if you see the Indian society, we've been drilled to really believe that STEM education is the way to success. So, what is STEM education? STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Okay? Performance arts is just an extracurricular, something that you can do when you're free. Once you get into the serious standards like ninth and 10th or 11th and 12th, you need to stop all those extra activities, because your education, your marks, your board exams are more important than those extra activities. And the one thing that I believe in, really, truly, is that India as a country, or even the world as a whole, deserves a STEAM education. Now, what does STEAM stand for? Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. Okay? Because the performance arts are not just an extra activity that your child can do in their free time, but it's very much a part of their overall education. It's just so important because it gives you so many different skills which you can use in your other subjects as well. So we'll be diving into that and getting more clarity on just that right now. If you have any questions, please feel free to interact with me in the chat box. If you need clarity on anything that I've spoken already, please feel free to type it out. Okay, so diving into the importance of performing arts for children, I'm going to be covering 7 C's, okay, of importance of performing arts. The very first one is critical reflection. Seems like a really big word, right? I'm going to break it down for you. What it means is that it gives you positive as well as negative feedback. For instance, if you're a dancer, say you're a ballet dancer or a Bharatanatyam dancer, and your guru tells you that you're not doing this step properly, the way they're saying it might hurt your feelings, but you have to be okay with accepting whatever they're telling you, because that's how you're going to learn and that's how you're going to progress in life. Okay, so it really teaches you how to critically reflect on everything that you are doing in life. The next one would be collaboration. Every performance art teaches you how to work together in a team, work with different kinds of people, work with different kinds of situations, different kinds of ideas, different kinds of scenarios. It's always pushing you to be creative together. For example, we have so many deadlines that we need to meet when we are in the performance arts field. If you're a writer, you need to write and submit it in that particular deadline. If you're an actor, you need to deliver the lines in such a manner that all of us are in collaboration with each other, all the actors are working together, and everyone's got each other's back. So that's super important when it comes to performance arts. Moving on, creativity. That's the most important because, you see, performance arts are actually linked to nature. And by nature, I mean energy. So I'm getting a little bit spiritual here. So I'm going to go a little slow so that you understand exactly what I'm saying. Just pay really close attention to the next few lines that I'm going to be saying. All right. So every performance art is a gift to us from nature. Okay. And nature is just energy. So every performance art is a creative process. Okay. And because of the energy that is given to you, you are able to create something. It all comes from within. Every creative process comes from within. Okay. The energy that is within you is really driving you to create something different. Okay. And when you want to create something, always go to nature for inspiration. Always. For example, a really popular music composer named Beethoven, he had gone by the sea and he sat down in the moonlight to write about the Moonlight Sonata, which is one of his most popular pieces. You can check it out on YouTube. It is beautiful, amazing for meditation. You can definitely feel really peaceful when you listen to that piece. And inspiration for any creative process, once again, I'm repeating, comes from nature. All right. The sad truth in today's society is that most of us are followers instead of being creators on our own. Instead of creating magic which exists within us, we're following various other people out there and thinking that what is true for them is true for us as well. So it's really important to get connected to nature and to get your creative process going forward. Moving on to the importance of performance arts, the next point is communication. You learn so many non-verbal as well as verbal techniques while being a part of this process. For instance, you learn about people's gestures. What do gestures mean? That's your hand actions, your body movements. Or you learned about people's body language. about how to maintain eye contact. If I just keep staring at you for too long, you're going to think I'm an alien. But if I stare at you, if I nod at you, that's how you're going to be learning that, hey, she's listening to me. She understands what I'm saying. She's actually attentively paying attention to me. So you learn all these tiny, tiny tricks every time you're a part of performance arts. And that really helps to build your personality. People will see the charm come through you every time you show those skills. Moving on, you also get a lot of confidence. Ask any child who's gone up on stage, any child who's under 7 years old. They're not going to feel scared at all. They're going to be so excited. But the moment you get a little older, the fears start creeping in, and you get anxiety or stage fright. And all of this is dealt with when you practice an art. Because you have to be on stage all the time. You need to perform your art to the best possible capacity and show it to the world. You can't be scared then. You have to be confident. You have to show the world that this is what I do and this is who I am. So, confidence is the next point. Culture, it explores and introduces you to so many different cultures. For example, if you're a part of a play, you're learning a new story. If you're a part of a new drama, or if you're just reading a book, you're learning a new story, you're being introduced to a new culture, you're learning so much about different lifestyles, different ways of seeing the world, different perspectives, which makes life so much more interesting. And it gives you this open mindedness. So that's cultures. And lastly, it helps you to control your feelings and emotions. As human beings, sometimes we feel that we are in situations that we cannot control. Probably it's somebody's death, or probably we have a bad day at work. Maybe we're stuck in a relationship that we don't want to be in. We feel like the external situation is just not in our control. But every time you're a part of an art, automatically learn to control your own feelings and emotions. It just helps you to develop your personality. And if you're able to control how you feel within, the external circumstance is not going to affect you at all. Whatever's happening around you will have no effect on the peace of mind that is within. Okay, let's move on to our next question is how you can introduce it to children. Um, It's very easy, honestly. If you just play a song and if you ask your child to dance, that itself is a performance art. Go to YouTube, play their favorite song, and get your body moving and grooving. And that itself is just getting into the zone. Or any physical activity, doing exercises is also performance arts. Or reading a book is also performance arts. There is probably singing a song, there is playing a musical instrument. If you enroll your child for any musical instrument class or singing class, poetry recitation, speech and drama, public speaking, all of these are performance arts. All you have to do is take the first step. And then when you see the smile on your child's face, you're going to realize you made the right decision. How can you practice performance arts during quarantine? During this lockdown when we're all stuck at home? It's all about getting your creative juices flowing. So, the very first suggestion I would give you is get your child to cook. Introduce them to everything that's in the kitchen that's child friendly, of course. Cook with them. Get their creative juices flowing. Make them realize that they have the power to create whatever they want to. And then you'll see that creativity has just no end. You can also do a lot of online classes which are available these days. A lot of tutors out there are available offering their services. You can sign up for any of them. You can find them online. You can also encourage your child to keep a diary. So I used to keep a diary when my aunt brought me one when I was 7 years old, and I still have that diary. I used to write in it basic things about my day and not too much, but that really helped me to build that whole quality of writing every day. And I still keep a diary where I write about my day and what I want to achieve. You can actually see it behind the blue one. So, writing has really helped me develop, and that's one idea I would always recommend for kids to develop their interest in the arts. Another thing is DIY. Just give kids some old scrap material that's at home or some artwork and ask them to co create anything that they want. There are always DIY YouTube videos which are available. You can always refer to them off YouTube. Super easy, child friendly. You also can practice them on your own, dear parents, everyone who's watching. Don't limit yourself and tell the child to do it. You yourself can do it because, hey, the child within you never dies. Moving on, another important thing would be vision boarding. So, this is something that I really believe in. You can create a vision board for your child, which is all the things that they want to do in their life. So you can take pictures from Google, you can take pictures from magazines, from newspapers, you can take quotes, you can take their favorite word or anything that they're dreaming of becoming and put it all out there in a vision board and put it up for the child. And that gives you a lot of positive motivation and positive vibes always, because it really encourages you to keep dreaming, keep working towards your goal. So that's one thing I would definitely suggest you to do during this quarantine. Okay, let's move on to the resources available for kids online. Okay, I'm not sure if I can link the links in the comment section, but I will just tell them to you right now. There are a lot of worksheets which are available for children to really explore and express their creativity. Some of the websites would be education.com, twinkle.com, and greatschools.org, where you can find amazing worksheets free of cost for your child to work on. I would also encourage you to push your child to read books, not only by Indian authors, but also by foreign authors, because that really opens a new world for the child. So, a lot of free ebooks are available on the following websites, such as Reading Eggs, that's EGGS, World Reader, and Children's Books Forever. Children's Books Forever also gives you books in different languages. So if your child is learning a foreign language, please go for it and try out the website. Some of my favorite books for kids would definitely be Roald Dahl, because his stories are just so much fun and they are so child friendly and he makes it so interesting. So always pick up a Roald Dahl book for your child. I will always recommend him. No matter how old you get, even if you're 50 years old, please read Roald Dahl and he will for sure leave you in peals of laughter. I can assure you that. Okay, let us move on to the next section that we have planned, which is the careers in performing arts. So sometimes, if you see a lot of ads, you'll say in India, people say, मेरा बेटा MBA करेगा, मेरा बेटा डॉक्टर बनेगा, मेरा बेटा engineer बनेगा. But what about मेरा बेटा dancer बनेगा? What about मेरी बेटी actress बनेगी? What about मेरा बेटा singer बनेगा? Have you heard those? Ever? These careers do exist, and they're not just hobbies. They are full-fledged careers. You do have money in this entertainment industry, and it's just following your passion and putting it out there into the world. Okay, so some career ideas that I'm going to be giving you parents right now would be, firstly, getting into the arts industry as an actor, be it a stage actor, be it a YouTube actor, be it a film actor, short film actor, TV series actor, anything at all as an actor. Then there's a dancer. If your child is trained in any dance, then you can push them to be a dancer. You can actually get them to finish all their levels and go after they're done with their formal education. They can go and practice being a performing arts dancer. Then there's musical theater. So this is very popular in the United States, and it's called the triple threat. In fact, triple threat. Sorry, a triple threat, which is musical theater performers sing and they dance and they act all at the same time. So if you're familiar with Broadway, which exists in New York, that's very popular there. It's this whole street with so many theaters, and people are just singing and dancing and acting there for a living. That whole street of Broadway in New York is really popular for just this. So if you're ever considering for your child, if you see those talents coming up in your child at a very young age, don't hesitate, because there are people who will accept your child and who will say, wow, this is amazing. It is a beautiful profession. Then there is a theater director, someone who directs plays. Then there's a screenwriter, someone who writes stories for films or for TV shows or YouTube videos or TV series. Then there's a theater stage manager, someone who handles the backstage, who loves production, who loves looking after all the actors and the costumes and arranging everything is in perfect order. Then there's a broadcasting presenter, someone who presents online on, say, a television or a YouTube TV show. Then there's a teacher or a higher education lecturer, someone like me, because I also teach speech and drama, and that's the same way. You can become a teacher as well, where you learn and get your formal training in all of these or any one of these domains, and you can go and become a teacher. And then there's a music producer, so getting into a music line as a music producer, music composer, sound engineer. You can actually go and experiment with sounds and music, and this industry is flourishing because there's a lot of money here. There's the big TV industry, music for films in Bollywood, films in Hollywood, films all around the world. So this is a beautiful industry to get into if you're passionate about music. And lastly, talent agent. So a talent agent is somebody who hunts or looks for talent. So just like in a company, you have an HR who looks for good talent and perfect fits for the company. That way, a talent agent is a person who looks for the perfect fit for, say, a particular drama or a particular show, a movie, totally depends. Okay. All right. This is one of my favorite quotes that I really wanted to share with you. I was just having a discussion with one of my teachers yesterday, and she told me about it. If art is taken out of earth, you are only left with air. So you see, the spelling of earth is EARTH. And if you take out art from it, you are only left with E and H, which is air. I really love this quote. Now we're going to be learning something super exciting, and those are some vocal warm up techniques for your child to really build on their voice projection, intonation, and get some clarity. All right. So, the very first exercise, if you want to do it with me, you can do it with me as well. You can either stand or you can stay seated. But if you're seated, keep both your legs firmly on the ground. All right. Okay. So the very first exercise is to say all the alphabets, the ones in Hindi, very slowly. So you can repeat it after me. A, A, O, U, E. Let's say it again. A, A, O, U, E. Now let's move on to doing some voice exercises with your voice to get your whole jaw ready before a performance. This is only when it comes to drama or singing or speaking when you can use these techniques. Okay, because these are the things that I really specialize in, so I'm going to stick to these. So the first exercise is for the warm up of this part of your mouth, for your lips. So you would just go. So this is like riding a cow. Okay, this is a really fun exercise for the kids. They absolutely love it. So you can try it out with your kids as well and go. Second one is getting a r sound from the back of your throat. You say r. If you check out uh, the way my teeth and my lips are moving, it's r. Okay. Once again, we'll try it together. R. Okay. So that was the third one. And the last one is humming. Okay. To really get your vocal cords open up, you would do some humming exercises. So that would be do it for as long as you can. Okay. That would be really helpful for you. All right. And now I am going to be moving on to the key takeaways that you can take back with you after this session to really improve on your performance art. Okay. So the very first one would be every time when you're sitting to practice, keep all distractions away. Keep your phone away, keep it on silent or airplane mode if you have to. Just focus on your practice. Just keep focusing on your art. Second one, just feel free to lock yourself up and practice with comfort and dedication. Even if it means you're not going to see anyone, just lock your room. You're not going to see anyone because you're practicing. Just do it. That's all I'm going to say. Just do it. Third part would be have a very open mind while accepting feedback because you're not just going to get positive feedback. It's not going to be sunshine and rainbows all the time. Sometimes people are going to be harsh, and you have to be okay with it because they're just helping you grow. They're just helping you progress in life. All right. Next, fourth point would be never, ever, ever let your ego come in the middle. A new creative idea can be lying anywhere with a stranger, with a little child, with anyone on the street. Just not now, but just go out there. Now we're in quarantine, so not right now, but just go out there and explore. There are ideas everywhere. Even in your room, there are ideas. Fifth point, always appreciate all kinds of art. If you are an artist, you must also respect other people's art. That's really, really important because each of us has been given a gift, and that gift can also be taken away. If it's given to us, it can be taken away at any moment. So always respect and be full of gratitude that you're given that amazing gift. Arts are a part of multiple intelligences. So once again, I'm reminding you that art should not be considered as an extracurricular activity which should be stopped after the child goes into their important years, but it's actually the fuel that the child needs to keep progressing and keep going on in their life. Even now, when we're all in quarantine, it's the artists that are keeping us alive. All of us are going to YouTube, we're watching cooking videos, we're watching how to make dalgona coffee, we're baking, we're watching these beautiful artists come together and perform. And it's all because they decided to believe in themselves and go for the art. So I would request you to do the same. And with that, I would like to end my session because I have a class right now. I need to go and teach. But if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the chat box. I will take it up for sure. Thank you so much. This was an amazing session. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Once again, Astha, you have been so kind. And thank you everyone from Mrs. Neeva's Plus Siddhi podcast season 2. Bye bye.